Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Brandon Lester Fishing. You asked for it, you got it. I did this last year. Just got a big box in from Midway USA. We're getting ready to start the Bassmaster Elite Series season here in about a week. We'll start practice, so I'll be headed south to Florida, Lake Okeechobee. That's where we start. I'll be headed down there this Friday. So I wanted to do this little unboxing. This is kind of a cool deal. I tried it last year. It went over pretty good. And I do this every year at the start of the season. I kind of look at the schedule, make a big order of some stuff that I know I'm going to need for those first few tournaments of the year. Because here's the deal. When I go to these tournaments, yeah, I can go to a local tackle store or something. But if I know I can find it online before I leave, I'm going to go ahead and grab it, because you never know what the tackle stores are going to have and stuff. And Midway USA has such a large selection. I like to just do it that way if I can. So I've got roughly $1,800 worth of fishing tackle in this big old box right here. You can see how big that box is. My little girl could fit in that thing. So let's dig into it. Without further ado, let's see what we got. There's some goodies in there. All right, let's see what we got here. Like I said, I like to do this every year. There's some things that new things that usually come out during the winter while I'm crappie fishing or whatever, and there's always things that I just want to try from time to time. You know, part of being a good angler is evolving with fishing, and that's a cool thing about fishing, is it's always evolving. There's new baits and stuff coming out, so you want to try to stay on top of those trends. That right there, my friends, that's a bunch of dang fishing tackle. All right, let's dig in. Let's see what we got. Let me set my box back up so I can set that box back up there so I can throw it back in there as we go along. Like I said, I'm starting at Lake Okeechobee. Y'all probably remember these from last year's video. That is the best top water prop bait ever made, period, bar none, in my opinion. I know some people will probably argue with me. I've got custom made balsa ones. That one right there is the deal. I'd tell you why, but that's top secret information. Just trust me, it's the best. These are new. These are really cool. That's called Shape 108. I stayed with John Cox last year, and he had some of the prototypes of these. And he caught them when we were at Harris Chain. He caught them off bed on that little thing. They make it in 3 different sizes. Berkeley Power Bait, it's got the scent in it. Not the max scent, but the regular scent. I like that. I've got punching in mind for this at Lake Okeechobee. I've got all the Florida colors, so that's a pretty cool little craw. Almost like a little rage craw. It's got the little flange on it. It's gonna do some kicking, but cool little bait. I really like the looks of it. A fluke. Just a plain old fluke is a really good bait when you go to Florida. I've got watermelon red, I got sprayed grass. You want to think like golden shiner, bluegill type colors. That's what I've got in mind for those. Here's a brand new bait that I'm excited to try. I have not had a chance to try this bait yet. So I have always been a fan of a Lure Jensen speed trap. And this bait right here, you can see it's kind of shaped sort of like a speed trap. It's made by Spro. It's called the Speed Demon. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's going to have some rattles in it. Dives about 3 to 5 foot. I think that'll be a really good cold water crankbait. That's why I bought those. And I'm excited to try those out. If you guys have ever thrown a speed trap, it's a great bait, got real loud rattles in it. But it can be a little bit hard to throw. So that's why I bought those. Definitely want to try those out. Got a couple of popping frogs in here. There's the shell cracker color. This is a new color. I've not tried this color right here. It's called Yellow Sparkle. But those yellows tend to do pretty well in Florida on your popping frogs, just because of golden shiners, bluegill, shell crackers, things of that nature. So definitely bought some of those. I hope we get in on some frogging action at Okeechobee. So after Okeechobee, we go straight to Lake Seminole. And then from Seminole, I'm fishing the Bassmaster Open on Lake Eufaula. And both of those events, and possibly Lake Okeechobee as well, I really suspect a lipless crankbait is going to be a player. So I stocked up on a few that I've not really tried. This is a Jackal TN60. 4/9 of an ounce, so that's going to be roughly not quite a ½ ounce, about between 3/8 and a half, somewhere right in there. But that's a bait that I've heard a lot of really good things about lately. I know a lot of guys have been catching them on the Tennessee River on the TN50, the TN60, and the TN70. They've been around for a while, but I just, you know, there's so many lipless crankbaits on the market, I just hadn't tried them. So definitely excited to try those out. These are little Yozuri baits. Yozuri is actually making a 3/8 ounce rattle bait, which is pretty cool. You can find 1/4 ounce, 5/16 ounce, but you don't see a whole lot of 3/8 ounce rattle baits. So I definitely think that could be a player if you get up in some super shallow water, you know, places like that. And then there is a 5/8 ounce version of the same exact bait, and I really like that color. It looks just like a dang gizzard shad, so that's why I bought those. That should be a Tennessee River killer right there. You guys saw these in last year's videos, so this is nothing new. So this is the Max Scent Creature Hog, and they've got some new colors. These are new for this year. This is white pearl. Like I said, going to Florida, I really think that's going to be an awesome bed fishing bait. And then this bait right here, this one's called Goat. That kind of stands for greatest of all time if you don't know that. But so this bait is black and blue on one side, green pumpkin on the other side, and that is one of the best colors in the world when it comes to a flipping and pitching bait. So super excited about those. I got some Max Scent chunks in here. This is what they call the power chunk. I'm a big fan of that power chunk. I really like it. I used to be a fan of real pork. That's kind of taking the place of real pork for me because it has that real good scent in it, that Max Scent scent. So big fan of that. That's what those are. Those are black and blue, some more white. Okay, so here is, let me find another pack here, and I want to show you guys. I've got a few Max Scent hitworms in here. If you followed my channel, you know I'm a big fan of the Max Scent Magnum hitworm. That's what I won at Pickwick last year on. This is just kind of a neck down version. The Mag hitworm is about 7 inches long. This regular size hitworm is 4.5 inches long. I got some blue fleck. I've got some green pumpkin in here. I think I've got some watermelon red. So you'll see a pile of those in here. I'll throw those on a shaky head. I'll throw those on a Nico rig. You know, several different things you can do with those. 6-inch Max Scent Generals. Really good bait. I love to throw these on just a wacky rig. You can Nico rig them. Really good baits. Me personally, I like the 6-inch better than the 5-inch. I've always been a fan of the 5-inch Yamamoto Cinco, but when it comes to a 6-inch, I like that Berkley Max Scent General. It's got the right fall to it. Really good bait. I've got some in green pumpkin, I've got some in black and blue, and I've got some in the Florida staple, black and blue flake with a blue tail. So there's those. Here's something new I want to try. These look pretty cool. I think this is a collaboration that Z-Man did with Brian Latimer. This is called the SMH worm. This color's called Hot Snakes. I've got 3 or 4 different colors in here. But I'm a fan of Z-Man stuff too. I use a lot of it. As you can see, I've got some of the finesse TRDs in here. For Ned rigging, honestly, I think if you're not using the Z-Man stuff, I think you're kind of missing the boat a little bit, because that stuff floats a little better, and I feel like I get more bites when I'm throwing a Ned rig with the Z-Man. So I'm going to try those on a shaky head. You know, just something to try. And I really think they'll work. Here's a different color of that Shape 108 power bait crawl. Here's a crankbait that I have not tried yet, that I'm super excited to try. And there's been some big tournaments in the past few years won on this particular bait. 6 Sense Movement 80X. That's a 5/8 ounce bait. It's a pretty good size crankbait, and it's got a real wide wobble to it. And you see a lot of times when guys are fishing around cypress trees and stuff, you'll see this bait become a big player. But I thought maybe at Eufaula, maybe at Seminole, may be able to get them to bite that thing. I got that one right there. Kind of looks like a golden shiner. And then I got a bluegill color. So excited to try those out. Here's something that is kind of new to me. There's another one of those Spro Speed Demons, a little bit different color. That's a good looking color. Here's something that I have not tried yet. So here is the regular Berkley Fritz side, and then here is the Berkley Click and Fritz side. Got a different rattle to it. It's got this Click and Fritz side is more of a one knocker style rattle, and this is actually the Fritz side 7. So I've not tried the 7, and I've not tried the clicking version. So you know, I've become a big fan of the Fritz side 5. I've caught a lot of fish on it. It casts good. It's a good little bait. So anyway, we're gonna try a few of those. Here's one I didn't show you guys just a minute ago. So here was the TN60 I was showing you. Here's a little TN50. That's a really good little bait. I've thrown that bait some. It's 5/16 of an ounce. When they get up super shallow, I'm talking 2 feet of water or less in the spring, that's a killer little bait. So keep that in mind. I got some Berkley Gulp minnows in here. I keep these in my boat all the time. If the going gets tough, you can always get a bite on that thing. Here's something pretty cool that I'll show you guys. So I use a lot of different jigs. I use some homemade jigs. You guys have heard me talk about Spanker Lures down in Coleman, Alabama, a buddy of mine. I use a lot of his jigs, and I use a lot of different ones, not sponsored by one particular company, so that kind of frees me up to use, you know, whatever I want to. And these dirty jigs are really, really good. This is actually the Matt Herron flipping jig, and this thing is awesome, man. Really, I mean, if you're around rock, I don't know that there's a better rock jig that I've ever used. You know, when it comes to flipping bushes, and where I really got onto this thing was at the Bassmaster Classic a couple years ago. We were flipping bushes at Lake Ray Roberts. It was super flooded. You can flip this thing right in the middle of a bush and it'll come right back out of it. So I got some in black and blue. I got some in brown with a little bit of green pumpkin. That color's called Canterbury Crunch. Really like those. Those are really good. This is actually the Dirty Jig swim jig right here. That's the No Jack swim jig. I'll have that tied on at Okeechobee, no doubt. And then I've got some little 1/8 ounce Dirty Jigs jig heads. They work really good. I'll put the little Gulp minnow on them. I'll put the like a 2.8 Kitech on those. I figured I'll probably use those some at the Bassmaster Classic. If I go over at Lake Tellico, real clear over there, if I go over there and look around, I may use those some. Here's something we have not talked about, and I may have talked about these in last year's video, but that's the Z-Man Mini Max chatterbait. And that color looks really good to me. Chartreuse and white with a gold blade, 1/4 ounce. That's, again, if those fish get up super, super shallow, that's when I'm gonna throw that little dude right there. There's another Mini Max right there in the Fire Crawl. Very popular color over the past couple of years, but for me, before I throw that Fire Crawl color, the water has to be fairly dirty. But if you get in dirty water this time of the year, you know, early spring, it'll definitely get you some bites. A couple more Fritz sides. That's one of my favorite colors right there. They call that Special Red Crawl. I've caught a lot of fish here around my house on that color right there. Late winter, early spring, works really good. I think that's a really pretty color right there. That's a TN60 in kind of a orangish copper color. Fades down into sort of a chartreuse hue. That's a really good looking color. All right, let's look at some more stuff I bought. I needed some more boxes, so I bought these Planos. These are the 3700, the deeper box, and this is the 3700, the little bit shallower box. So you guys can see the difference there. I'm gonna make this deep one my new chatterbait box because I have outgrown this size right here with all the chatterbaits I have. So, you know, there's just so many different colors and stuff now. That's what I'm gonna do. So ordered some more boxes and some wool gloves. These are actually made by Sims, and they look really nice. If you guys have not tried wool gloves for wintertime fishing, I would definitely recommend them. No matter what company. I've got some I bought off Amazon. I want to try these Sims ones. The Fish Monkeys are good. But I definitely recommend a good pair of wool gloves. The good thing about wool in the wintertime, if you get your hands wet, it'll still keep your hands warm. And then got me a couple of new reels. These are actually spinning reels. One's a 2500, one's a 3000. For super finesse stuff, I like a 2500 for Nico rigging, wacky rigging, shaky head, stuff like that. I like a 3000 size. So, you know, I kind of interchange between the two. But this Tatula The Tatula Elite spinning reel is really, really nice. The thing's light as a feather. Like I said, this is the 3000 size, and I think it weighs like less than 7 ounces or something like that. I mean, the thing is just absolutely light as a feather, and these things hold up really well. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't take care of my reels like, you know, I probably should. I don't oil them very often, maybe once a year, and these things will hold up for me for, I've got some that I've been using for 3 years now, and they're still just as smooth as butter. So real impressed with those. They got really good drags on them, so got me a couple of those going into the season, and that is pretty much it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That is a lot of fishing tackle, a lot of organizing, a lot of stuff I got to do. I got to get this boat wrapped this week, get everything organized and ready to hit the road, but ready to get to Florida for sure. I've done well down there in the past, and I always enjoy going down there, especially this time of year when it's a little bit warmer. But appreciate you guys watching. I hope you learned a little something. Try out some of these products because you know, most of the stuff in here is stuff that is tried and true, and I've caught a lot of fish on. There's some new stuff that I'm looking forward to trying out, but I hope you learned a little something. If you need anything at all for the outdoorsman, but for the fisherman, the shooter, the hunter, check out Midway USA, guys. They're not just about fishermen, they're about the outdoor lifestyle, and that's what I'm about too. So you check those guys out. Once again, midwayusa.com. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time right here, Brandon Lester Fishing.